I started to believe that loneliness was the new norm. What do you think of the idea that loneliness becomes a new norm for people? Like they just stay in that place where they're just healing and they're just by themselves.
Yeah, no, I don't. I feel like it's a stage of it. I don't feel like it's a norm. I think like it's a processing of understanding what's going on around you, sort of
So
thing.
when I say that, I say that in the sense of, okay, you've lost old friends, yeah? When do you feel it's time for somebody to go into the world with this new energy? Because it's almost like a bit of that.
I guess it's one of them things, like when we look at it as this kind of, all right, I'm gonna go away, I'm gonna be in a cabin with no light, nothing, just me breaking down in the corner of the room, and then like, and then it's just you, no internet, nothing, and then you're just in this space. And then when you are fully completed, like a caterpillar becoming a butterfly, you step out of the cabin in the woods, and you're like, I am free. Everybody's going to flock to me, and I'm gonna be a new iteration of myself. It doesn't work like that. It does not. Like generally, you are in the process of this journey of figuring out who you are and how you are in a myriad of different situations that then allow you to figure out who you are in different aspects. So you may be going through a period of certain friends who are not there for you or were not the right quality of friend for you, right? And you've decided in your heart that you probably don't want to speak to them again, and you probably don't want to engage in that relationship with them. The next step for you is telling them or severing ties in that way. But I think some people take a step back from the relationship, but they still go out into the world. They're just taking a step back from that. But what that does is that opens up space for the kind of relationship that you want to come to you. You may go to an event, you may go to cinema by yourself, you may just walk down the street and you bump into somebody. You may find some sort of coincidence that you've met somebody through somebody else, and they say something to you and you're thinking, that's the kind of person I want to be around, that's the kind of energy that I want to bring, and that's what I'm inviting into myself. And then you're able to then speak about it. But the problem is, when you talk about loneliness and being alone and that kind of element, it's like a lot of men retreat away from interaction. They're like, oh, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna go into my cave and I'm gonna just protect myself. Just all of my things I need is sort of around me. That's not always useful. So yes, we do need to protect our energies, but that's not always useful because we need people. We need community. We need to be able to communicate what is going on with us and what is happening with ourselves and the like.
A lot of these issues that we have were entering more of an individualistic society. So when I say that because let's think about how social media was back in the day when we went uni. How do you just so you kind of understand?
30.
30. So you know what it
Tired.
is. Went to uni.
Tired 30-year-old.
We went to uni, and like one culture that we had was when we had Facebook, it was all about tagging people. You wanted to always be in the photos, you always wanted to be part of the crowd. So somewhat, I didn't have issues when I was in uni. When I come back and I'd finished, I felt like the switch was different because it went from when you saw your mates' social media, you always saw them in group pictures. Now when you go into people's social media, you just see them. And as much as it's like, obviously, for a lot of us, it's business and blah, blah, blah. But for the average person, that's what it is. It's just me.
So when you say people, are you talking about men, women?
Men, women in general. I just think how we see social media now. Because
Right.
it's almost like, obviously now social media was more about like, it was a photo album before. The concept of Facebook was like a photo album, highlights of what was going on. And now we're at a stage where we just show the highlights of us and what's going on, me lifestyle. Do you feel that has led to the loneliness that we have in society? Because if I looked at your social media, I'd think you're doing very well. You know, you got a book out, you got great quotes, nice, handsome lad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's got a good smile, so and so, and then that's it. As a friend, I won't even think anything's wrong with you. I wouldn't even think I need to check in on you, which is bad, but it's just that assumption that you're good.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a ricochet, like, okay, I've presented myself well, so everyone just think, oh, you're good. It's the one that doesn't present himself well that I'm like, oh, bro, is everything cool? And he gets all the attention. So it's almost like if you kind of present yourself too nice, you actually become more lonely because no one really thinks anything's wrong with you. And then, boom, we're here, and another brother's gone.
And this is why we need community, and this is why we need to be able to really nourish the friendships that we are curating for ourselves. We need to address and understand our values as men. What is it that we are looking for? What are our highest values? What are our top things that we aspire to in life? Like the things that matter to us, what matters to us, and find those in the friendships that you curate and build that kind of community offline. Because you can build community online, and you can have values online, and you can build the community that way. People know you for a particular thing, and know how you do certain stuff and address certain things online. But I've always looked at social media as a shop window for the stuff that you have going on. And inside the shop, that's where you've got, I don't know, whether it be the podcast, the merchandise, the videos, the other things, you know what I mean? They go in there and then they see all the other stuff that you provide. But when it comes to checking in or having, or, you know, you're not doing too well, but you're presenting in one way, that really is down to the kind of friendships that you and the kind of relationship that you have with the world offline as well. Because I got friends who check in on me. Like, I mean, if I'm going for a rough time, we check in with each other, and we do that all offline. But when I go and put stuff online, I put stuff online because I want to send a particular message, and I want to be able to be authentic in that message that I'm sending. So it is a bit of it's a really weird kind of experience where we've kind of meshed we've meshed the online and the offline and the personal and what we want to show and all this different stuff and the image that we have. And I think we just need to get better at drawing the boundaries of what it is. And if it is my page and I'm online and I'm with my group of friends and we're on holiday, for example, and I want to show a picture of me being on holiday, it doesn't matter who I'm with. I'm just showing that I'm on holiday, and that's what I want to look at. But to answer your main question is, have we entered a more individualistic society? We've always been we've been progressing towards this really strange individualistic society for a long time, which is why I'm so big on community-centered, community-focused, a strong community lens for this stuff, because again, we can't do this stuff alone. It's not a matter of whether I'm at the top of my game. It's a question of whether we are at the top of our game, whether we are really collaborating and understanding one another and learning about one another. And I just feel like if I'm not there, but somebody else is, I love the fact that they're there. You know, like I just don't understand. Like we're learning to be with and around one another too. So I think that's important.